Hello, welcome to my talk, Building Fabric. I'm Dr. Fan Wang. I work in Institute of Sustainable Building Design in Harvard University. What is building fabric? I would like to use an analogy. In this analogy, I'm going to compare a building as a person. We all know that human beings is warm blood animal. We digest food to produce heat to maintain our body at a certain temperature, not too high, not too low, to keep us healthy and well-being. And in an ideal environment, let's say 20 degrees or so, we release heat in 3 components to maintain the balance. And this balance is by 20% evaporation and about 35% by convection, and the rest will be radiation. If the environment changes, let's say there's a scorching sun, and the radiation component will be greatly reduced, and the balance will be broken, and then that will cause discomfort, even heat stress, like construction workers in road construction in summer outdoor. What do? We provide solar shading to regain the balance, and we can maintain certain degree of comfort. Same if the temperature is very high, even without sun, then there's not enough convection to dissipate your body heat. Again, the balance is reduced. So what do? You do dress less and use fan. So the air movement, forced convection can evaporate, can increase more convection heat lost, and then regain the balance, and you can still feel a certain degree comfortable. So this is when it's hot. Then imagine another situation when it's cold. What do? Lower temperature surely has more convection lost, more evaporation lost, and that again balance is lost. And even not only balance, the magnitude, the heat total amount is greatly increased. So to avoid this, we dress more. We wrap ourselves up to reduce the surface area exposed to the outdoor environment. So in this way, we prevent too much heat lost. If wind getting bigger, then obviously we don't want to stay outside. We run away because otherwise we will lost more heat. For this reason, primarily, we have a responsive way to dress ourselves up. So in summer, we dress less, and in winter, we wrap up more. So let's see, this is a winter. We all wrap up. It's a sensible thing to do. And in summer and hot, we provide ourselves some shading, and we dress less to encourage heat loss. And we do all this same to a building. Now let's look at building. In a building, we also have some heat generated inside a building, and outside we have the environment. So therefore, you can see the major thermal force, heat force, is from sun, and the other is wind. Sun can penetrate through the building, the window into the building, and it can also heat the surface, and then from conduction, heat goes into the room. And the sun also reflects from other surfaces into the building. So therefore, that's a major heat going into the building. And the wind will get infiltration into the building and then move the heat. So this is how a building releases heat. So if there's a certain amount of heat release, then temperature can be maintained the same for comfortable, for example, about 20 to 24. Now, if too much heat gained, and then it'll be discomfort. And if too much lost, then temperature will drop and it's too cold. So for this, in cold climate and in winter, outdoor temperature is low. Just like human being, the building needs to be wrapped up to prevent heat lost. So we have an insulation layer, and we also allows window to let sunlight come in, so there's solar heat. And we also seal all the small gaps around the windows and the doors and elsewhere to reduce infiltration. And if, let's see, in summer, in a hot climate and in summer, we do something to prevent outdoor heat going into the room. And what we do solar shading to prevent solar penetration into the indoor environment. And we also open up windows and doors to allow wind to go through the indoor space. And we call this natural ventilation to remove heat. And we sometimes also have vents on our roof to allow further ventilation to take heat away. Over generations, people develop their vernacular architecture and they design climate-responsive buildings. Here you can see in cold climate, people bury the buildings halfway into the ground, so therefore expose less to the cold air. This is to prevent too much heat lost. And in a hot climate like Malaysia, the buildings are very open and with solar shading, big eaves to provide sun goes into the room, and they're all very open to the wind to take away heat. Fabrics. Talking about insulation, we can see this is a close. We have layers, and the same in buildings. We have different layers, some to provide structural stability, like the bricks, and we have insulation layer, and we have a coating, just like the outer surface for good aesthetical effect. We are familiar with those heating systems in cold climate and air conditioning cooling systems in hot climate, and those systems need energy. A good building fabric can help us to reduce the energy consumption for running these systems. So, to sum up, what is building fabric? It is a set of clothes for a building, or it is an envelope. It improves the indoor thermal comfort, and also it reduces energy use for cooling or heating, and therefore it reduces carbon emission from our buildings. Thank you very much.